Hey guys, I'd like to talk about phones today. I got a really good question from my YouTuber friend Time to Unbox, who most of you will know better as Mr. Switch from Hot UK Deals. I really respect his opinion because he's owned more phones than I've had hot dinners, but he also understands the import market, coming from China, etc., really well as well. And he messaged me recently asking what phone I'm going to buy next. He's picked up the Samsung Fold 7. He's loving it and he was asking if I was going to buy it. So I'd like to address all of that in this video and just talk about where I am. Now, typically I will change my phone at least once a year, but sometimes twice or three times, depending on, if I like the phone I buy, if there's a good deal that comes out, or depending on what phones are released on the market. But this is quite an interesting time. It's August 2025, so you see a lot of the phones that come out in the Android world in March and April. You start to see them go down in price. You start to see better discounts, better deals, because more phones have come out. More recently, Samsung released the Flip 7, which I unboxed on this channel, and the Fold 7. And then next month we've got the iPhone 17 and all the variants coming out. And even at the end of the year, you'll see some cool gaming phones come out, coming out from China. You'll see some kind of bargain phones come out from Xiaomi as well. So we're at an interesting time because there's a lot of cool phones in the market, but there's a lot of cool phones in the pipeline as well. So, depending on what type of phone you like, you might not want to pull the trigger as yet. I want to start off by talking about the Fold 7 because that's what Mr. Switch was asking me about. And this was a phone that I was thinking of buying. And I have since went into John Lewis and I've spent some time playing around with this phone. And I will say, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It's such a beautiful looking phone. This is probably the most interesting phone I've used or tested this year as far as playing around with it in a shop. And, as you know, I had the Fold 4 a few years ago. And the Fold 4 was excellent, but it wasn't perfect. But it looks like they've addressed a lot of the problems that I had. It's like 5mm thinner, it's lighter. But one of the biggest problems I had with the Fold 4 was that the front screen was too narrow, which just made typing and browsing the web just horrible. It wasn't a nice experience. So I ended up opening it up more than I should have. But now they've got a kind of traditional candy bar style at the front. It's thicker, it's more usable, and it means the tablet is bigger as well. Mr. Switch has been sending messages as well, just saying how good the cameras are. So they've really improved things over the last few years, in my opinion. There's been a lot of teething problems with this whole range of phones, but I think Samsung have done really well here. So this is probably the best phone I've seen, the one that attracts me the most. But yes, there is a but or a however or a though. So yeah, this is the asterisk here. The starting price is £1,799, £1,800. Now you might think I was crazy to even look at this phone initially, but Samsung are running promotions and they have a trade-in. But when you go to trade in your phone, it asks if you've got an iPhone, do you have a Google phone, do you have a Samsung phone? They did not show my Honor Magic 7 Pro here. So I didn't see any trade-in value for my current phone, so I just stopped looking. Because to me, £1,800 is way too much for a phone, especially because in a year's time, you're going to get, 600, 650, 700 maybe resale value at most. So you're going to lose at least £1,000 over the course of a year, which is a lot to spend on a phone. It's a lot to lose on a phone in depreciation. Now, I will publish a video about the Flip 7. I have been using it, I've been testing it to get an idea of what I like, etc. But my first impressions are positive. This phone's a lot cheaper. I think I paid about £900, after discount codes, etc. But what I like about this is the fact that the selfie camera isn't amazing in the inside, but it doesn't matter because you can use the main camera as your selfie camera. You just hold it folded and you can use that main camera for your selfie pic. I think that's a really good thing to have. It really addresses the fact that most phones have a crap selfie camera. So I think that's a really good feature because it means that your selfie pictures will have the same quality as your back camera pictures, your rear camera pictures. So that's a really cool option. It's a little bit cheaper as well, a little bit more affordable. Now, as far as where I am just now with my own phone, I'm in a funny position in a way because this phone does everything that I need. There's nothing about this phone that annoys me. There's no bugs, there's no errors. It's got a great screen. It charges so quickly. It's got multi-windows, multi-screens, etc. So I can multitask very easily. The back camera is amazing. The selfie camera there is not as good as an iPhone, but it's not terrible either. It's acceptable. So I'm kind of happy with it for the most part. There's nothing really here that annoys me. It's just a very good phone. It's my first Honor phone, the first Honor phone that I've bought, but I've been very impressed with it. So when you've got a phone that does everything, it's fast, it charges quickly, it does everything, it changes your perspective as to what phone you'll buy next. Because, there's nothing here annoying me, there's nothing here to resolve. So for me, the next phone that I buy has to be something fun. And maybe that means it's a flipping phone, a folding phone, I don't know. I think if I change this phone, I want something interesting. Now, I don't know what the iPhone 17 will be when it comes out next month. You see rumors that Apple are going to release a folding phone, etc. But if they do, it's going to be crazy expensive. I had the iPhone 15 Pro Max a year or so ago, and it was an amazing phone. But what it did lack for me is the fundamentals, in that it didn't have fast wireless charging, it didn't have fast cable charging, it didn't have multi-windows, which I know a lot of people don't care about that stuff, but these were features that I do value, features that I do use. iPhones, I will say what I love about them is that it's very hard to take a bad picture. It really is, because they give you an option of picking, a few different, you take a picture, it will show you a few seconds before and after when you click the button, so you can always get a good picture, and the quality is always good. So, it's pros and cons. I'm not going to rule out buying an iPhone, but I think at this stage, I'm just looking towards something a little bit more fun. And as far as fun goes, maybe it's a flipping phone, maybe it's a folding phone. I do like the look of some gaming phones, but gaming phones tend to have terrible cameras, so I'm not sure. But yeah, that's where I am just now. I'm kind of just holding fire, if I'm honest, at this stage of the year. I'm holding fire because I do think the Fold 7 could end up being the best phone of the year, the most interesting phone, the coolest phone, and the most practical. Just changing your phone into a tablet. To me, that's still amazing, and it's a very productive phone because of that. But I'm just going to hold back, see what happens in the Apple world, see what iPhone 17 is like. So yeah, I'm just kind of holding fire at this point to see what happens. We're going to wait another month, see what the new iPhones are like. If I do see a good deal on a Flip 7 or a Fold 7, or maybe even like one of the Motorola folding phones, maybe I'll change. That would feel more like a sidestep for the flipping phones maybe. But yeah, that's where I am just now. But I'd like to put it over to you guys. What phone are you thinking of buying? Have you bought the Flip 7, the Fold 7? Are you waiting for one of the iPhone 17 phones? Please let me know down below in the comment area. And if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, take care.